I like to play games when they are fully baked. After all the early access chaos settles down, systems stabilizes and developers show their real direction towards the game. I don't like to spoil my experience with half finished balance issues games and where developers are just coming up with emergency patches and stuff. That just spoils the mood of games I play, and that's how I like to play. And that's exactly why I haven't played Star Savior yet. But instead of ignoring it completely, I did the next best thing. I spent days researching about it, reading KR and JP discussions, patch notes, system breakdowns, and player feedbacks, just to understand what this game actually is before global launch. And here you go. This is my pre-release breakdown of Star Savior. Not from hands-on experience, but from the outside looking in carefully. Before systems, before gacha, before PvP, or before any of that, Star Savior is built on a simple premise. The universe is dying because the stars are dying. Civilizations don't collapse from wars anymore. They fade as their stars burn out. To prevent extinction, humanity establishes the Nebula Observation Agency, or NOA, a massive organization tasked with monitoring stars and training potential saviors. You play as the captain of the NOA, a commander who has lost their memories. Classic, I know, like every other gacha game. But yes, instead of saving the world personally, your role is to train others. Long ago, a legendary star savior defeated the ultimate threat known as the Void Star. That victory didn't end the war, it only delayed it. Now the Void Star is returning, and your job isn't to find one hero, it's to train many candidates, test them over and over again over a year cycle, and determine who is worthy of inheriting that legacy. This structure directly feeds into the game's core system. One thing that stood out during my research is how tightly the gameplay structure matches the narrative. Instead of instant power growth, characters are trained over time. Growth happens through repeated journeys. Progress is gradual, imperfect, and cumulative. This isn't a story about sudden heroes, it's a story about preparation and progression. That alone separates Star Savior from many other sci fi gachas, who just put you into the world and be like, yeah, you're maxed out now. What kind of game Star Savior is? From everything available so far, Star Savior is a 3D turn-based gacha RPG that combines several familiar ideas. AFK style passive progression, Epic 7 style turn-based combat, Umamazume inspired carrier training, and both standard PvP and RTA, real-time arena. It's being developed by Studio Beside, the same studio behind Counter-Strike by the way, which already tells us two things. The game is designed for long-term service and system will evolve significantly over time. That's for sure. That makes waiting for global, at least for players like me, a deliberate choice. Combat in Star Savior is turn-based, but not simplistic. Each character follows a clear structure: basic skill, active skill, and ultimate. Like any other turn-based RPG, nothing new. Turn order is determined by speed, translated into action value, meaning speed turning matters a lot, especially in PvP. Buffs and debuffs use fixed values, not endless stacking modifiers, which keeps battle readable. A key mechanic is toughness breaking. Enemies have break bar and breaking them delays their turn, and charges a shared mechanic called Nova Burst. Nova Burst enhances abilities and shifts momentum, but once activated, it cannot be undone. This creates commitment based decision making rather than reaction spam. One concern I had initially was time commitment, especially with the carrier system involved, but research suggests progression is split cleanly into three loops. The first is classic daily farming, limited entries, fully sweepable. The second is AFK progression, push stages, earn passive resources. And the third is journey or career mode, like the Umamazume style training, you know. Despite the number of systems, daily playtime is relatively low once unlocked, around 10 to 15 minutes unless you are pushing content. This is one of the things I personally don't like when the late games become repeatable and it becomes like a core to you that you have to log in and do all these things and then get out. This is where I start looking for other games to play. But before that part, the early part is all I crave actually, you know. But that's just me. If you like end game loops, it's all up to you. The gacha system is one of the most discussed aspects for some bad reasons and also good reasons. The SSR rate is 4%. Sparks at 200 pulls. Sparks carries forward between banners. No hard pity for rate up units. From a pre-release perspective, this suggests it's one of those games where you will get tons of SSR, but it wouldn't matter unless you're getting the right one and you're getting the right one again and again and again. Like, dupes matter a lot in this game. So, you're looking at the meta heroes that you actually want or the meta characters that you actually want to have dupes for, and in order to get them, that's where all the whalers will be whaling and they will be getting all the dupes and stuff like that. But being a free to play player, you would have to struggle to get dupes. This is where problem might occur. But considering how easy it is to get SSR, you'll still have a good time playing free to play. This places Star Savior closer to Umamazume or Nike rather than Hoyoverse style gacha, you know. It's generous, but yet well dependent. I know RTA is controversial and people don't like RTA in games where RTA affects you with progression and stuff like that. But personally, for me, RTA is something I evaluate carefully, not for rewards, but for expressions. I like to battle other players, you know. I like that rush of beating another player. That's also my dopamine. From what I have seen, RTA rewards are relatively low pressure. Seasons are long and progression isn't long behind ranking. That makes RTA more of a skill testing environment than a mandatory grind. Good thing for all the free to play players because they don't have to get wrecked by whales if you don't want to. But I would be getting wrecked by whales all the time because I love that. And when systems are balanced, that is usually where a game's depth is showed. Why I'm still waiting and watching. Star Saviors didn't have a clean launch. That's not up for debate because they were badly thrashed by all the players that went for the JP launch. It basically got 1.2 star review on Play Store. So it got absolutely cooked by the players. But devs are showing some improvement right now. They are fixing the game. And of course, that's a good thing because that's why they released it in Japan first, right? Instead of global releasing, they choose to go for the JP servers first. And that was a good decision by the devs because players were very mad about the game. But now they're fixing all the stuff and it's looking like a positive, it's going into a positive zone. You know what I mean? For someone like me who prefers entering a game once the system is stabilized, waiting for global makes sense to me. By the time it launches, balance will likely be smoother, systems will likely be more refined, and the game will be closer to what it wants to be. This will not be in a Kaya's recommendation list yet, but I am personally very excited for the game. It's a game with strong ideas, visible flaws, and real potential. And they have a very good history. Like their portfolio for the previous games are top tier. So we have to just wait and watch. When Star Savior launches globally, I will finally play it. And I will be the day one player to play it. And we'll see how long do I maintain to play it. But yeah, that's when the real judgment will begin. And that's where I will post a post-release review for the game. Until then, this is what the game looks like from outside. I'm waiting patiently for the oven timer to finish so I can finally taste it. But for now, this is it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. It's your boy Kaya. Peace out.